Good morning, everybody. I'm Colette the Highway Stitcher, here to give you my stitching from the highway and at home. It is December 5th, 2025. We'll see if I can get this uploaded in time to still be December 5th. I've had a few techie issues lately in the last few videos, but we'll see how this one works out. It is 33 degrees and snowing here in Lehi, Utah. So any of you in anywhere else know that it's wintertime here in the northern hemisphere. So we're finally getting our first snow of the season here in Utah. So kind of fun. It's always fun to get the first snow. I apologize ahead of time if my lighting isn't the greatest. I needed to get this video done, and I realized that with the snowing and the cloud cover and having one of the light bulbs out in my light, that I'm hoping that my lighting is good enough. I checked it and I think it is, but that's what we're going to go with today because I want to get this video taken care of, and because it's been over a month and I want to get this done. A little bit of housekeeping. I had elective surgery about 2.5 weeks ago. Everything is fine. I was able to stitch just perfectly fine, so the stitching didn't go away. I'm just a little sore and tired and all that, and I have to be careful. I can't lift anything, but everything's good. What else is going on? I'm hoping to do a separate video for plans, and then I'm also going to show you some knitting, crocheting, and lace that I did, because I know this one's going to be way long and I don't want to add all that in there, especially if I might have some issues uploading it onto YouTube. So anyway, that's a little bit of I think of housekeeping. Just a Merry Christmas. I'm wearing my Snoopy Christmas shirt. I love the Peanuts and the gang, so I'm always wearing the shirt at Christmas time. So anyway, exciting news for me as far as my stitching goes. I have 9 whips left out of my 100, and I know it's possible now. I have not gone back and checked my charts and my spreadsheets. It probably have less than 100 anyway, because of some of them getting like thrown out, abandoned, whatever else the case may be, or just finished up. I know that there's probably less than that now. But I'm excited because originally there was 100 at the beginning in January, and I am now down to my last 9 whips that haven't been touched. So that's what's, I'll show that in my plans, the last 9 left. I have lots of whips here. 1, 2, golly, didn't count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 whips to show you from last month stitching. Stats and everything else that goes with it. And I also have one FO, one finished object to show you, which I'm pretty excited about, which that makes 19 FOs for me. And my plan is I have a SAF that I want to start, a Christmas one, a start and finish. So when that gets done, I will have completed 20 whips, which is much better than I've done in the past. Last couple years were pretty pathetic for any FOs. So I'm excited about 20 FOs. So any of you who know me probably will go, yeah, we're excited for you too. So anyway, after I get a little water, I'll start showing you everything. So, okay, my FO. This is St. George's. It's an older pattern from Julie of Long Dog Samplers. I posted this on Instagram, a picture of it, and it didn't do justice at all. And now with my kind of crazy lighting and darkness this morning outside, it probably isn't showing up a whole lot better. But I'm hoping maybe you can kind of get a better take of it than if you're watching my video as opposed to the Instagram. This is on a Picture This Plus 28 count mint. So it's a very pale green, and that paleness kind of shows up better there than it does closer. Up closer I'll show you, and then farther back I'll show you the actual floss. It's a variegated floss by Threadworks. The name of it is Teal We Meet Again, because it's shades of teal. So the teals, instead of till we meet again, it's TEAL we meet again. The number, if anybody needs to know the number, is 010581. And here's the color. So it's like different shades of teal. So real pretty. So anyway, that's my 19th FO. This one was a funny one because I had set this aside and a commenter had mentioned, they go, oh, we sure love that old long dog piece that you had and St. George's. And they said, we're working on St. George's right now because of you. And I went, oh my goodness, because I realized I had set St. George's aside because I'd done all the cross stitch. But as you can see, there is tons and tons of back stitch in this, which really, really makes it just pop out beautifully. So I went, uh-oh, that could be an FO pretty easily if I just get back to it and get that back stitching done. Now, it took me a lot longer than I thought it would. The back stitching took a while, but it was still doable to get it as an FO and make it number 19. So I'm really happy with this. I'm glad they brought that up because I had set it aside in a bag somewhere and totally forgot about it, thinking it was done. So that is St. George's, and so glad I got another finish. Okay, now on to whips. Last night I went to our local, like Provo, Utah County area stitching group. We're called the Wasatch Whipsters, and there was like a very cozy 6 of us there last night. Some other people were generally a lot larger than that. Other people couldn't make it, because of Christmas, things that they had to do. I decided I wasn't going to bring one of my, 9 whips that were left because practically all of them are a little harder to bring to a small stitch thing because of different reasons. So anyway, I decided to bring a piece that I'm working on that I started a couple Christmases ago. This is Small Gift by Imaginating. It's a Mary Engelbright piece. And I fell in love with this. I think Denise, Black Ribbon Stitch Studio, I think Denise is the one who I first saw post a picture of this on her floss tube. And I said, can I start that with you? I said, this is absolutely gorgeous. And so we're just doing the start along. We're just stitching, whenever we want to stitch, seasonal or whatever on this. Just to make a comment though, there also Dina, who used to be floss tuber, who used to be half stitch, cross stitch, and she's now sit, stay, and stitch. Dina also is working on this, though I have not seen her post it lately unless I missed the video on it. So I don't know how much she has done. I think she has done a whole lot more than me though. So at first I was going to, okay, a story about this. First I was going to just get black fabric and stitch this on it, which would be fine. I'm fine with a black Ada. And then I thought, oh shoot, look at all these little snowflakes, little tiny snowflakes, all that wonderful start one, end one, start one, end one. And I thought, ugh. So I thought to myself, I think I'm going to go to up to Stitchery Express. And Cindy there has tons of Fabric Flair. And Fabric Flair, of course, if any of you know, is the one which has a lot of printing on it. So I was looking for like dots that look like snowflakes, but I couldn't really find exactly what I wanted. But then this popped up. So I'm going to show you kind of parts of it out of the Q-Snap. I still have it in the Q-Snap because I only did like about 150 stitches on it last night at our group, our stitching group. But if you look, you can see this has like all sorts of big stars, little stars. And I thought that just kind of looked quirky, like what Mary Engelbright does, her cute little patterns. I could see this pattern having different size stars on it. So when I saw this, I thought, well, hopefully this is dark enough. But as I've been working on, it's not black, of course, but as I start working on it, I'm pretty happy with it. Of course, it's going to be covered up, some of the stars, with her, her whole body, dress, hat, Christmas tree, deer, everything else that's with it. But I think it's going to look really cute and really like Mary Engelbreity. So I've been real happy with this. Anyway, I just did about 150 stitches last night. Just finished that little part there, which when it's backstitched will be a present. And then this other white part to her sleeve. So if I show it to you again, you'll see. Like, there's the package, and it was this sleeve right here I did. So anyway, that is Mary Engelbreit the gift. And cute. So that's what I worked on last night at our Utah stitching group, the Wasatch Whipsters. Okay, now on to all the whips that I worked on this month since my last floss tube, which was November 1st, or maybe it was Halloween. Maybe I did it on Halloween. But anyway, it's been a little over a month, so I get to show you all of the whips that I did this November. So the first one that's on the top, in no order because I just tossed them on top of here, but the first one is called Frog. It's an old Cross My Heart pamphlet called Animal Welcomes, and the one that I'm doing is this frog one here. So with the lily pads and the frog. This, I'd have to ask my two friends who started it with me. We started this on August 28th, but I didn't write down the year. I think it was 2024, guys. You can like let me know for sure. Who I started it with was Amy Loves Toads, Amy of Amy Loves Toads, and Leah Noel of Rhubarb Patch Studio. We found this at StitchCon in June when we went. And so I think I brought it over and just said, oh, look at this. And then everybody got excited. I mean, the three of us got excited and decided that we were going to start this. And I think that's the only ones that did. You guys can bot me if you know, you and Amy and Leah, if you know of anybody else who started it along with us. Let me know and I'll make sure I mention their names. But the three of us started it for sure. Started August 28th, and I believe it was 2024 because I think it's been about a year and a half. So, and I had, when I started it, I did the frog and finished the frog, but not the back stitch. So when I picked it up this time, I did 1,001 stitches and completed that, and it was all pretty much those lily pads up. I mean, it was all the lily pads up at the top and the back stitching that went with most of the lily pads. As you can see, I back stitched the big one a little, but not much because the big one is going to be double the size. So, but the other ones that are completed little lily pads, I did them. I thought about going back and back stitching the frog, but then I just got all involved in the lily pads, and that's what I ended up doing. So that's over 1,000 stitches on Frog Welcome. The fabric on this is a 32 count be stitched to me, and it's a even weave, and it's called Luna Moth. And that kind of shows it pretty much. It's similar to the mint of the other, but it's a little more richer in color than the Picture This Plus mint. So there we got Frog Welcome. A little bit closer so you can see a little bit of the back stitching. A little bit farther so you can really see how it looks with the real color. So, okay, the next whip I worked on this month is a GGR piece. So it is a sampler, one of my samplers. This one's called Mary Griffiths 1873. It's a Welsh sampler. We started up a Welsh sampler Sal at one time, and I don't remember all the things about it. So I apologize for that. And I couldn't find my information on it either. But my idea on this one is I'm not going to put Mary Griffith's name down there at the bottom and the date. I'm going to put my direct great grandmother who came from Wales. Her name's Rebecca Williams. So I thought that that would be cool. So I did a little changing. If you see here, I'm not a big fan of like the letters you can't see. That's just always been me. I want my letters, and these are Welsh words, I want them to show up. So I used a different floss color. If you want to know what it is, I can let you know. But these are all like overdyeds, mostly some weeks and mostly sampler Gentle Arts. And what I worked on this time was quite a bit. I did all of this part of the border here, so I'm now in the middle. This is a big sampler. Excuse me. And I did all of these Welsh words. Before I had done the flower pot and this part of the border that curves around the left edge. So I ended up stitching 1,404 stitches. So those, a lot of stitch heaviness here. Like from here all the way over, and all these words gave me 1,404 stitches. This is stitched on a 40 count, 1/2 threads, R&R, sheep's straw linen, with of course overdyed threads. So that's that. It looks pretty good there. About back this far is the real color of that fabric and the flosses. So that is Mary Griffiths. Okay, the next one I have on the top here, this one hasn't been touched since, and Queen Elizabeth passed away already, when she had her Platinum Jubilee, 70 years of service that the Queen gave to the country and was still alive. She was the longest reigning Queen of England. And Thames Path Samplers created a pattern called Platinum Jubilee Sampler. And I decided that I wanted to stitch along with this. I watched the whole Platinum Jubilee, the several days, and stitched on my piece then. And then after that, didn't touch it for who knows how long it's been since then. At least probably 2 years, I think, 2 or 3 years. This I really, really went to town. My mom would say went to town on. The only thing that I had done on this previously was just a little bit of that border and just this flowers here. So that was it. So you can see how much more I did. I just went to the other side of the border, down, did the other part of this here, all of these flowers, and then some of the crown there in the middle. And I got 1,607 stitches. And this is a 32 count platinum, but I'm doing 1/1, so in tiny stitches. And I want this like to be a cute little small sampler. And this is just a Zweigart 32 count platinum. And I'm using DMC 814, and I'm doing 1/1 on 32 count. And that kind of shows it more, it's platinum is kind of a, you could, if you look at it different ways, you kind of sometimes see more off-white, silvery, and other times you see a little tiny bit touch of cream. So this is pretty much what the color of it is, pretty true to color. And the colors of the floss, looking a little closer, you can see it's that real pretty burgundy type of red. So that's Thames Path Samplers that I got done for my whips, my few whips that are left. The next one I worked on is also another sampler. This is a cute little sampler by Scarlett House called Mary T. Broom. This one I ended up doing 534 stitches on. Had to move over to, I don't remember what, but I was moving over to some others. So not quite as much done on this. What was done previously was basically just a little start of the border there, and just those, that A and BB and then HH. And let's see, yeah, and JJ. That was it, all I had done. So with the 534 stitches, I got across to the other side of this cute little sampler, and most of the other letters, at least that went across for the first 2 lines. This is a 32 count, and that shows it pretty well true to color. It's a 32 count Lakeside linen vintage exemplar. And the colors are pretty much Weeks Dye Works, all of them, overdyes. So I'll show you the threads a little closer there, and then the true to look back here. And this one, those light colors there show up well in person. So they aren't, they may be washed out a little bit here, but they show up really well in person. So I'm fine with that color there. So that's Mary T. Broom. Okay, next one I worked on was, this is an old sal, but it's an old mystery sal, but it's the only old mystery sal other than My Castle Homecoming by Frosted Pumpkin. It's the only one that I decided after starting it again that I really like it still a lot, and I'm going to finish it. The other mystery sals, I either put them aside, and I wouldn't call them, I don't know. I'm not working on them anymore. They are like done. That's all I'm doing. Some people would say abandoned, whatever you want to do. But this one, I picked it up again. I ended up doing 663 stitches on it. I'm not very far on it. Started it when it was a mystery sal, but only just did a little bit. But I fell in love with it again. I really like it. So I will continue working on this. And now that it's all done and I have all the pieces into it, I can just work on it at my leisure. When I started it, this one is going to show through. Maybe I can go like, yeah, this is hard. See if I can find something to put behind it. At least some of it. And there we go, a little bit. This is on a dark blue Zweigart Ada, 18 count. And I started out, that was the first block. I did that and then worked down because they did this middle big block, you follow your dreams, next. So I had done that block. I had gotten down here and just done a tiny bit of the start of that block before I just put it aside and forgot about it. So if you look here, you can see that I did quite a bit of that sun and the blue clouds. So all this, practically all of this, the FOLL was actually into, but the actual part of the that sun there and this blue, I think that's either mountains. Yeah, it's probably mountains actually, and trees. That all got done with my 664 stitches. So, and this is it's an Ada, so it's two floss threads over the 1 Ada block, and it is with the DMC, the called for DMC. So, and again, I'll just hold it back, see if I can kind of put it in front of me, and you can kind of see, it's see-through as you can see, but that's what it looks like full out. Okay, now on to my, I ended up doing four of my whips that hadn't been touched that are full coverage. So you guys get to see some full coverage here, which I'm excited about too. So let's see, the first one actually has a picture for it. So I'm going to look for that. It's a Pain-Free Crafts. I am doing all the montages. So this is one of the montages. For some reason, I don't have the autumn picture, and I need to get it, copied off, but I just haven't. But I do have the other three copied. I just got to find them. And there's winter, and there's autumn. I mean, not autumn. Autumn's the one I'm missing, actually. And I know you're here, spring, because I saw you. Excuse me. There it is. These montages, the full coverage ones, are by Pain Free Crafts. So, though somebody was saying in one of their floss tubes that they retired these charts. So I guess the only way you can get them now is the Jan Lin kits, which are not full coverage. They're just like, parts of them are and parts of them aren't. But I think you can still get the Jan Lin kits of the montages. But these pain-free ones, I think they don't have them anymore. This is a spring one. I'm working in this section right here. Haven't done a lot. Almost all of my full coverage are 25 count, 1/1 full cross. If they are something different, I will tell you that as far as the coverage goes. And this one I did on a moss. All of my montages I'm doing on a moss green Lugana 25 count by Witchelt. So here it is. You can kind of tell that's a moss green. I kind of wanted just a little different color background in them. So this is not a pre-gridded. I'm gridding this myself. I ended up filling in some of the area around here. And then some of those stitches I carried on and filled in some more through the flowers there. Not stuff that you can really tell for sure. Sorry, I don't have a previous picture of it. But that is what I did, because I ended up getting almost 1,000 stitches. I got 938 stitches, which brings it to 1.69%. Whoopee-doo. Actually, I'm 2% on my others, I think. So that's why I need to work on this more to get it 2%. I've got total done so far of 2,055 stitches. So as you can tell, almost 1,000 was done this month. So I didn't really have a whole lot put into it before. And that's out of a total of 147,900 stitches. So that's spring montage. I also stitched on autumn montage, which I will show you a picture of. That's autumn montage. And again, I'm working on this area here. Started on the acorns and those leaves. Again, it is on moss green, 25 count. Again, it's a Pain Free Crafts. It is autumn montage. And with this one, so everything's the same on it except the percentage done. I did 700 stitches total on this. Didn't have the, I had to rush off to another one. So I didn't have the time to put 1,000, which is generally what I like to do. But I reached 2% on it. There is now 2,966 stitches done out of 148,428. And this one, I didn't move over to here like I did before. I did a lot of fill in on this. Filled in that whole leaf there, filled in a lot more of this leaf, filled in a lot more of this, and the whole top part over to here, I believe, is all filled in. So, and that shows it probably better. So that was one of the other full coverages I worked on. Another one I worked on, I could show you the page. Well, I will show you the page. But then I'm going to show you a project bag that I got from a friend, Jenny of Cricklewood Crossing. She made this bag, and it's actually the bag of the actual artwork of this particular pattern. But I'll show you first. This is a Heaven and Earth Designs. It's a mini, and that's why the picture is so small. The artwork's by Jody Bergsma, and it's called Minnie Singing in the Rain. And if you look real close, you can see these cute little frogs singing in the rain with the flowers. But I'm going to show you a better and bigger. So, close this project bag up. I went, oh my goodness, it's the project bag of my full coverage. And so there's those frogs, much brighter, cuter, and bigger. Though, I have to let you know that the part I'm working on is probably right up here, because the panel itself probably didn't, the panels is a little smaller, I think, than the mini in what it shows. So I'm actually stitching in this part up here, which I'm not even down to that part yet. But at least you can see the frogs better. I mean, look at these cute little guys singing in the rain. It's so fun. This one I am working on with Amy of Amy Loves Toads, and it's just been a joy to work on. I completed. I only had a chance to work on it a little because, like I said, I'm trying to get everything worked on. So I got 510 stitches into it. It is now at 6.1%. So I made the 6%. I did 4,286 stitches out of 71,325. This is a pre-gridded 25 count, but it's still the 1/1, a full cross. And what I did with this one is I completed the whole top block until you get to about here. As you can see, that's not completed there. But a lot of the blocks, the top blocks over here had holes in them. So I had this goal like going, I want to finish up the top blocks all the way through it if I can, because that is the other side of this mini. That's the other corner. Well, in the process, of course, you find that other threads are heading down when you do typewriter method. And I already had some work done on some of this, so I just carried the threads down as I went. So because I could only get about 500 and some done, I didn't get a chance to get over here to the other side and fill everything in. So when I get back to this, I'm planning on filling in the rest of that top block, and then I think I'll take the next block down and fill it all in. I mean the second set, the second row there, and fill them all in. So that is what I have done on Singing in the Rain. And then my last full coverage that I worked on, and I just pulled this out this last week, is an Artisy design. And it's called African Woman with Peonies 2. The artwork is by Frederick Bazille. And this one is a smaller pattern, so that's why when I tell you the percentage, it'll seem like a large percentage compared to like my Heaven and Earths, but they have a lot more stitches and are going to be bigger in their size than this one. This is also on pre-gridded. And here's how it's looking now. To give you stats, again, it's 25 count 1/1, pre-gridded. I did 1,011 stitches on it this time, and I made 20%. I kept going because I wanted to finish up a thread, so it ended up being 20%, 20.14%. I accomplished 9,868 stitches out of 49,000 stitches. I didn't have the time to continue on and make a 10. I wanted to, but again, I want to get every single one of my whips done and at least 500 stitches into them. So, but this one whizzed along. That's why I kept doing it. It just went really fast. I'm doing this on kind of a semi-diagonal, and I say semi because it's not true diagonal. I'm not like just sticking to the actual diagonal. If I was, I'd be having the park threads and having each one out ready to go down to the next. So, but I just wanted to do something different, and I'm still enjoying it. It just works out kind of well for that. I went off the diagonal like the last time I worked on it and started filling in these oh my goodness, what are those called? Somebody tell me. These beautiful flowers, peonies. Duh, that's the name. Okay, the peonies. So I went and stitched on those white peonies with the pink in the middle of them. Okay. So when I did that, I started filling it in and realized, well, the grid work is still going to show with the white, but it all washes out. But it was bugging me, so I decided to fill in as much more of it as I could the last time I worked on it. So I didn't do much of the diagonal last time. This time when I picked it up, I wanted to fill in, I wanted to get the total iris done because there were blotchy spots in the edge here. as well as I want to get this whole part of this diagonal done with that kind of blue flower, bluish gray flower. And then if I got those done, then I would go back and start filling in this. So that's what I ended up doing. I ended up doing the diagonal that filled in. I had a little bit more left of those irises there. And then the diagonal started up again. And there's like a green leaf, if you look close. Right up there. So I'm starting that green leaf. And then I went down here and filled in the rest of this, which is mostly shades. There's a little bit of black, but a lot of it's like 3771, 3799, you know, some dark grays, dark browns in it. So it's not all black. And then I did some in here, but then I got kind of jazzed. I started working on this blue, and I got the diagonal part done there with all of them, but then they ended up, you know, the threads hanging down here from those blues and grays ended up completing this much more of that flower. So that's what got done on her. You know, this is just slowly going along. I am working on this with two other friends. I'm also, this is another one that Denise of Black Ribbon Stitch Studio is working on with me. And also Sarah, Stitch and Mommy, is also stitching on this. So, and we are enjoying it immensely. Sarah is actually doing a total typewriter method. So she has, it's fun to see hers, and it's fun to see mine because mine's so totally different in a diagonal, semi-diagonal. She's got the top, like a couple rows done or whatever. And so you can see some of her scarf there, as well as some of that. But then she goes, oh, you can see the hand on yours and the other stuff. So we're kind of like doing a little different from each other, but it's turning out fun to see our progress. So 20%, that was a good milestone. I really like that. It's pretty exciting. So, okay, so now after that's all done, now I'm going to switch over and show you my last 9 whips that have not been worked on. And I'm going to get them finished, as well as one more stitch to get completely done for 20 whips that were totally finished. 20 finished. I mean 20. They could be start and finishes too, but 20 of them totally done. So I'm going to come back and show you those next. Okay, everybody, here they come, the last 9. I will be taking these out and putting them right back in. No ironing on these or anything else, because the other ones, I know where their bags are and where to put them back. But these, I don't want them to get messed up, especially since they're my last few. So when I take them out, I'll only just be showing you what they are and then shoving them right back in. Here's my last montage. It's winter montage. There's where the starting point will be. This time I'll try to remember to take a picture, but my plan is to fill in more of the green, I think. Fill in all the green of that, the green of that. I kind of was enjoying that. I think that's what I'll probably enjoy more, but who knows for sure. I may end up deciding I want to just proceed along, and then I'll just go along the top. Who knows? So again, it's on 25 count, moss, 20, even weave, 1/1 full cross. So. Okay, this next one, these are in no order again. Oh, this is going to be, I should have showed you this first, but that's fine. This is going to be my start and finish to make my 20th finished object. This is one Christmas piece that I will be working on this Christmas. I would love it if I get these 9 done that I can work on some Christmas seasonal stitching, but we'll see how that goes. But this will be a for sure. This is called Christmas in My Heart by La Di Da. I always loved this saying by in Christmas Carol, where it says, I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I just love that. And I had some fabric for this already, as well as I'd picked out a floss and thought I wanted to start it now. So I thought, oh, heck, I'll have this done fast. This is like, you know, with this word stitching, this will be done really fast. So this is the fabric I got. It's Atomic Ranch Joy Lynn. So that's the color, pretty red. And the floss that I'm going to use, I'm doing more of like an antique Christmas. So I'm using Weeks Dye Works Holly, like a deep forest green. So here's what we've got on here. So it's going to be like a deep dark green. The ultimate goal on this, I do not know. I mean, as far as an FFO, maybe the pillow, maybe not, but we'll see. Mainly, I'm going to make it my 20th finish. So root me on that. That got mixed up with all the whips. Okay, this next whip is called the Embroideress. I started this with some friends. Well, actually, I started it mostly with just one friend. I think a couple other people wanted to start it, but I don't know if they did. And this is a friend that there's a stitching group up in north of me in more of the Salt Lake area. And I usually go whenever I get a chance. And the person who has it at her house, her name's Sandra. And her and I fell in love with this pattern, the Embroideress by the Exemplar. And so we both started it up, and it's probably 3 years ago we started it. And I decided I needed to bring it out, of course, and touch every single whip. So I'm going to have to see with this, when I pull these out, I'm going to have to see if there's any tag with them, because I may not have it with them. I might not. Yeah, this is a Misty Purcell fabric. She's Luminous Fiber Arts on Etsy, and on her, I think she has her own website too. And this is Milk and Honey. It's 40 count, 1 floss thread over 2 linen threads, and with the called for. Oh no, wait, it's not called for. I ended up getting a conversion done by Tina at Shepherd's Bush. So. And when I worked on this, when I first started on it 3 years ago, I only did like that much, I think. Oh, no, wait. No, actually, I did quite a bit. I went all the way across, but I didn't fill in. I think I went all the way across, but didn't fill in all the flowers. So the vine work was there, not about halfway across with the border, and then nothing with that border underneath the first set of flowers. So anyway, this I will pull out and see how many stitches I can get into that. At least 500. I'm hoping with some of these to make 1,000 or more. It depends on, what it really depends on is 2 things. One, how fast I start getting these done, since it's the very last month. And also depends on how burned out I am with them too, because these last few at the end here, some of them are ones I really did want to stitch. Others are ones that I kind of started and I am not loving quite as much. So we'll see. We'll see how it works. They'll get 500 if I'm just going, I'm still not sure how much work I want to put into this one, but I'm going to stitch on it this year. If they get 1,000, then that means I was really having fun. So, okay, this piece right here is a Dimensions kit. I said I wasn't going to work on any other Dimensions kits until I finished, another stocking until I finished my other dimension kit, which I did not do. This one, Brenda has had finished forever. I'm still plodding away on it and have not worked on it for ages. So it's got to get at least 500 stitches done before the end of the year. I need to pull it out and do some kind of goal with it, but I'm kind of feeling freewheeling when I do my plans video. I'm hoping to do a plans video pretty soon in the next week and a half or so. And you'll find out I really don't have any plans per se, hardly, because I just kind of want to have fun since I worked so hard this year to get something done on each one of these. I kind of want to just kick back and relax and pick what I want to pick and not do any kind of challenges. Nothing at all. This anyway is Lost No More. It's a Dimensions Gold Kit. Beautiful pattern. The artwork's by Greg Olson. So we'll see how I go along with this. and I'll show you what I did. I worked on it quite a bit for a while because I was working on it every Sunday. But then I got off of that because I started working on another Sunday piece, and that one didn't get done either. But and then this one just got kind of set aside. So anyway, I'm not sure where I'm going to go on this. I put it into my books. I took pictures of it and put it into books. And what I was trying to do when I did that, I was trying to make sure that I got, the two pieces, because there's two parts to this pattern, and I kind of wanted to get all the work done where the two pieces meet. The two pattern pieces meet. So I have to see what needs to be done still with that. When I get that done, I'm always happier when I get the two pattern pieces that meet in a dimensions pattern, and then I either go up or go down. So that's what I have to check first, since when I finally put it into my books, to see where I'm at on it. And then I'll decide where I'm going to work. So I can't tell you for sure on where I'm going to work on that one yet. Actually, I'm kind of excited about picking this one up again. So I may get more stitches than I'm thinking. Okay, this next piece was, I started this in the Year of the Dragon last year. Not this last year, but I believe it was the previous year, I think. Who knows? This might be one that I did work on this year. Hugo Stitcher started this cell. And yeah, it might have been started this year actually, but I haven't done anything on it at all. So I figure I might as well put some more stitches into it. It's a Teresa Wentzler pattern. The one I'm doing is the Storyteller, same as Hugo Stitcher. And I've had this pattern forever. I've always said I was going to work on a Teresa Wentzler pattern, and I never did. So finally, this was my impetus, my pushing to get it started because of her stitch along, which I'm doing just to start along. I'm just doing it at my own pace. Haven't done very much of what I started it. I had a little dragon needle minder that I got, that Amy actually made for me. But this, let me see how this is here. Oh, it goes like this. I should turn that little dragon around so we know what orientation for sure. So this is the corner, the left-hand corner. There's tons of blends, tons of metallics, tons of everything in this, as is totally typical of a Teresa Wentzler. So I started it and just did that. I have not really gathered together my floss. It would certainly make it a whole lot faster if I had done that, but I don't want to do it now, because if I do that, I might as well call that my 500 1,000 stitches, because it'll take me as long to gather together all the floss for this and put it how I want it on floss drops than it will be to stitch it. So I'll still be just grabbing out the floss I need for that particular part and work on them, the blends and the other, to try to get stitches into it instead of organizational into it. I need to organize it, make it organizational, but I'm not doing that right now. So that is one of the final whips to work on. Okay, the next one is a full coverage. Actually, the picture is here, so I don't need to pull it out of my notebook. I haven't had a chance yet to work on Quilts of Cape Cod. This was one I started several years ago, actually started pre-Pattern Keeper. It's one of my few pre-PKs. And you'll see that when I show it to you. You'll be able to tell. Not quite as much on this as my first full coverage, Ariadne, which is definitely, you can tell it was done pre-PK. This one, I want to get 1,000. I really want to get 1,000 stitches into this so it looks like something. When I started at pre-PK, I was just doing blocks and parking. Parking I filled all in. So you can tell those first 3 blocks or so are totally done. But then when I got Pattern Keeper, I love to do cross country, and I don't like to park. So I'm always doing cross country unless I decide to do typewriter method and fill in the first row, and then I will continue the floss down, but I still finish it up. So what I'd like to do with this one is, I haven't given it really strong thought yet on what I'm going to do. There's 2 different ways I can go on it. I can still do cross country, and I was doing that some because I love the fact of the branch showing up, and this is a tree coming down, which is right there. You can see the branches there and the tree. But then again, this is a confetti, super confetti heavy piece, and my last 1,000 stitches I did in it was just to try to get past that and get 1,000 stitches. And when I did, I went over here to the blue sky, and there wasn't a whole lot of confetti to that. I mean, there were a few different colors, but I just filled that in to get 1,000 plus stitches. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. It depends on what my mood is when I pick it up. If my mood is, I really want to have fun with the confetti, then I'll do that. If not, if I just want stitches into it, I'll probably be over here in the sky. That's where I'm starting it at. I'll have to tell you stats and everything the next time that when I do work on it, what my stats end up being. That one closed. Okay, this next one is a, actually, I gotta go grab, and I'm not gonna turn off this. I'll be right back. This is an old class piece. I got reminded about it from Brenda. She says, you have more than that many whips because where is your Catherine Theron piece or pieces? Now, actually, I only started one Catherine Theron piece, even though I've taken several of her classes, because one of them I decided I just did not like it anymore and I wasn't going to continue. And the other one, she had 2 pieces and I only started one of them. I didn't start the other. So this is really, truly my only Catherine Theron. It's an Irish Blessing sampler. And that's it. Catherine Theron, she would do classes with my friend. She'd come and do EGA classes with specialty, all kinds of specialty stitches. As you can see, we had a lot of like long arm cross and Smyrna cross. I mean, everything, queen stitches, everything in them. So that's what these pieces are heavy in, is all kinds of specialty stitches. This has not been worked on in years. So we'll see when I pick it out. I'll have to work on it really carefully. So it'll have to be a time when I don't have anything else bothering me at all. So, and this is the little bit of wrinkle work that I did on it when I started it in class. My threads left there too. She gave us the kit fabric and the kit and the floss that goes with it. It's silk flosses, I know. Not sure from what company, and I'm not really sure on the count of the fabric either, so, or where it comes from. Brenda, didn't you say you thought they were like 30 count or something? I don't know, but if you watch Brenda, she has one of these. She works on one, and then when she gets it done, she goes up to the next one. If you go back on hers, she probably tells you what the count is, but I'm not sure what the count is on it. But that one needs to be stitched on to see I did every single whip. Now on to some more full coverages to try to get... Oh, wait, no. This is not a full coverage here. I do have a couple others that are left to do. This is my mandala, my chatelaine. This is the Holland Springtime mandala. This again was started and not hardly any done on it. And so I need to pick this up on a quiet day again and work on it. I'm stitching out on, I think, a 32 count white even weave, I think. Let me see what it looks like on the back here. It's been so long and I don't know where my stats are. So well, it looks like 2. So it must be 2 or 2. Yeah, probably is, now I think about it, because you have to put a lot of metallics and beads and stuff, so I'm sure that's what it is. Anyway, out of this big, huge piece of fabric, which it's going to be monstrous, here's my little start. And that is the right orientation because I was smart and I put a pin in. So So the only thing that's actually done here is just a little bit of like that little corner, I think. So I'm thinking that's what's done. I did enjoy it when I was working on it. I just need to get in the mode, I think, in order to, if I get in the mode and the mood, I will really enjoy this. It's just that if I'm pushing to get some stitches into it just because of the end of the year, well, you'll see. If I get 500 stitches into it, that means that I wasn't in the mode. If I get a lot more than that, then I was. So, and the last two, which this is, so that was 7. This is 8. Oh, yeah, this is kind of full coverage. I'll show you this one first. This one I am looking forward to working on. I really am. I just haven't gotten around to. It didn't get pulled out of the bowl, and near the end here, I'm just grabbing pieces and doing them. So I'm not pulling them out. This is a Carolyn Manning piece called Northern Lights. I love the colors on this, and I love the fabric I'm working on. So this, I'm excited to pull it up again. It is on Pattern Keeper, and I'm hoping to fly along and get a lot of stitches done on it. So, and here is what it'll be starting, where it will be starting from. Those beautiful blues and greens and purples, and this shows it kind of more really what it is. Yeah, this is a 32 count light blue Lugana from Zweigart. So that is Carolyn Manning, Northern Lights. And then my last whip is another full coverage. I've been touched this. I'm working on this with Sarah Stitch and Mommy. And this is, let me see. Oh, brother. I should have kept my notebook so I can show you the picture. Excuse me. Where'd my notebook go? That's strange. Should just be right here. Oh, it's over there. Be right back. I just didn't want to splice 20 tons and do 20 tons of editing. I have to do enough editing as it is. Okay. I think she is in the back more. This is Hibiscus Fairy. And actually, here's the one that can go back inside the bag. This is a Heaven and Earth design, artwork by Meredith Dillman. Oh, the colors in this are so pretty. I had a large piece, like a half a yard or more, of a light pink Aida that was given to me free. And I wasn't really going to, generally I do my full coverage on 25 count because I want them smaller. But I thought, what else am I going to use this pink Aida for, 18 count pink Aida? And I thought, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do it on this. And actually, I'm really glad I did, even though it's going to be huge, because it just seems to be, it's just so nice not being on like a stark white. It's just really pleasant stitching on it, on this light pink. I don't think, I might be totally over to the other side, but I'm not. No, I'm not. No, because this is a big piece on 18 count. So I'm past the halfway point, but it's still going to go over there a ways farther, probably to about there. So yeah, it's going to be huge on 18 count, but it's been really fun to work on. And what's even more interesting about it is I just, whenever I pull this out, it just goes so fast. And I was going, oh, well, it's probably because I'm doing it on a larger count. Because I can just whip through it. I can just do a loop start, because it's 2 over 1 block. And I can just go room, room, room. And it's a lot of block stitching, not tons of confetti. So it's just been whipping along. And I know when I check my stats on it, quite a bit of it's done actually. So anyway, that's the last piece of full coverage. And it's the last piece of every single whip. When I get done with all of these, I'm going to have to go through and redo my spreadsheet and redo all my. I have a spreadsheet as well as written up on a bullet journal because I tend to like to write things too as well as put them in the computer, and so I've got to readjust all of that and see how many pieces that I have that will be starting up the new year. So that'll be really fun to see how many whips I actually have left. I did start, some. It's not like I didn't not start. I was perfectly happy, just so I worked on every whip, that I was perfectly happy to do new starts. And I'm pretty positive, I don't have my pink bullet journal in here, but I'm pretty positive I started probably 10 or 12 new projects this year. But the fun thing is that I'm going to be finishing 20. So it will significantly be that along with some other things of like putting some in the done pile and not working on them anymore, as well as ones that I finished up separately. I will have less whips, I know, than 100. Pretty positive I will. The only 2 whips that I abandoned, I didn't bring them here to show, but you'll probably remember what they are. One is because I realized I'm not a big bead stitcher. It's so funny. It's the Singing in the Rain. I'm not Singing in the Rain. It's the Electric Light Parade. I found that mirrors are about as far as I want to go stitch beading wise. And they have quite a bit as it is. But the Electric Light Parade was probably half, if not more than half of all beads. And I love to make necklaces and bracelets and everything, but I just don't enjoy stitching with beads. I don't understand why, but I just don't. So that one is not being worked on. I actually ended up such a big piece that I started stitching my birthday start, which was my Disneyland start, on the other side of that piece of fabric. So it will be being used. And then the other one that I've decided to put out into La La Land is the Erica Michaels pieces, the Seasons pieces that I'm doing one over one on 40 count Verdal even weave, and where I was just doing half crosses. And I think the main reason for that is the couple times that I've made a mistake, let's say, because I do have to have really strong glasses for those, and they're not easy to do. And the couple times that I made a mistake and had to rip out, it was really horrible to rip out those 40 count over half stitch. It was horrible. And I wasn't enjoying it. So I decided, if I'm not enjoying this, I'm just going to cut the little bit done. I'm just going to cut that section off, and I have the whole rest I can just do 1 over 2 stitching on 40 count. So that's my plan. Those are the 2 that have been put aside into La La Land. Other than that, everything got finished to some extent and will get worked on to some extent. So anyway, hopefully, cross my fingers, other than the start and finish that's going to make my 20th finish, the red piece of fabric, Christmas fabric with the Christmas Carol saying on it, I'm hoping to pick up, I hope I can pick up a couple of my seasonal Christmas stitches and work on them. I really do. I really want to get, to feel some seasonal stuff. So we'll see how it works with getting these last 9 done. So to end it all, I remember the gratitude journal. And before I read off what I chose, thanks for joining me in this ride of working on my whips all year and keeping me going. Thanks, everybody. I'm just so excited that when I do my whip parade, which will probably be in middle January because that's my floss tube anniversary, and that's usually when I do it. But it'll be fun to show every single whip and say, I did this. I did it. I worked on it. It wasn't just sitting aside. So I'm excited about that. This particular gratitude quote, it shows a person that has a harp, and it says, only in peace do we have joy, not by acquiring things and not by doing things, not by earning or learning, but by dedication. We all dedicate ourselves to certain hobbies, crafts, other things like that. And yeah, we have to dedicate ourselves to constantly working on them, to strive and achieve and get better, whether it's a musical instrument, an arts, anything that we do in our lives, we have to work at. So that's what it's a quote I would give you this time. Work hard, and you'll see the fruits of your labors, which, my goodness, I'll be able to see that too at the end of the year. Anyway, thanks all for joining me. See if I can upload this big long video because it's over an hour. And I will get back to you, like I said, hopefully with a short video on plans. And take care, everybody. Have great stitching time. Have a great Christmas season. Have fun with the tree and everything else. And I'll hopefully see you in about another week and a half, 2 weeks. So bye-bye.